Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. Alright, so there's actually one other little thing I want to take care of first. So this was like all debugging stuff. But I had forgotten that there's this extra file we need for certain browser backwards compatibility. And it was in the README, right? Oh. That include the notes. You'll need to use SVGUs. That does, maybe your demo HTML has SVGUs. Demo external SVG. What? Oh, I guess the demo doesn't SVGX use. Okay. Demo external. We're putting that at the end of the body, which is hopefully okay. And no. No, I mean, we're even doing this outside the body, so. Although they then have all their scripts inside. Interesting. This is not compiling yet. Okay, that's all still fine. No problems loading that. Include external SVG shim. All right, so back to the problem at hand, where this is where I'm probably going to want to reference the old mcollage code. Yeah, those heuristics. You know, are those heuristics bad, or is it not even aligning the text? Okay, it's at least trying to align the text. It's just doing it really, really badly. To the point that those look essentially like they're still centered. So we used to have a native module that got a canvas and a context, and then called measure text on that. The font, we passed it. To CSS font spec. Is that still around? Ooh, this is not trivial. But we only need to account for one set of settings here. I don't know that I'm really doing much of anything with this. Font name is unspecified. Is this an exposed function? Well, that would appear to be a no. Actually, it is actually unused now that he's done the estimate. So I don't think label from string, we've got size, we've got color. Yeah, so I guess that would be normal. Normal, normal, normal. Size and that's exposing. Plain black text. Default style, sans serif. So we would want to measure sans serif whatever size. Once we've got a text.size. All right, well, before we can even do that, I need a way to export this from this module. Essentially the top level module, which stinks. So context decorations is called style zone time days. Where we get the height and width from the collage. Where we have scaled that to width and row size. So the relevant height and width. Well, maybe we should have this near here. I don't know. We kind of need 2 bits of stuff here. We need this that calculates the width and the height. And then this that calculates the text height from that. Min height width. Just the layout height width. Label size takes a float. Well, because these, well, we got rid of the X's. Because these things are all misaligned, and in the Elm 19 version of Elm Collage, it no longer has native code to actually go out to the browser to measure the text, so we have to do it ourselves. Now, actually, one thing I wanted to try is instead of necessarily having to measure it every time we change size, we might be able to measure these strings at some arbitrary size and then just do math to scale that to our actual final point size. For reference, it's supposed to be left-aligned like this. Well, this is operating through a library, which is dynamically creating the CSS. So I don't really know that you can touch that per se. So it's got attribute style. Elm Collage. In the previous version, it which is what this is using, it worked fine. But when in Elm 19, libraries can no longer have native code, so it was removed. So I've got the code. It just, you have to do this on a port, which makes it asynchronous, which is going to make it a pain to deal with. But I think I might want to see how measuring these once and scaling works. Because that would just make it a single parameter. Well, okay, so it's 7 parameters. But it would make it possible to deal with that. Which means I actually don't need to abstract this yet. So I could go up to, let's see, there's this master app. Unfortunately, I ended up with 2 files here. Well, did I end up using this? Oh no, because this is Twitch specific. So I am going to have to copy this. Well, we're only doing this one for now. I have not heretofore had ports in this one. Well, it's if it switch ports. So actually, so this is all send. So actually, if we just measure this on startup, we could, this is only a send. And it's going to look an awful lot like that. Really? You don't allow copies. I'd swear I'd pulled stuff out of that before. Maybe it was from the console, and there we go. Oh, I did leave one of you in there. See, so we are going to have a canvas, a context. It's not even going to be... I could have this just send it. I can only send a single value. Exactly. So it's no longer a thing where down at the bottom of some chain of functions, I can just say, hey, left align this thing. The topmost part of the application now has to care about this problem. And this is a piece of code that I've reused in 2 applications, so both of those top-level applications are going to care about this problem. Well, I mean, the old library used to be calculating it every time there was a resize, at least, every time it was drawn. I want to see if I can get it for some known size. But I'm going to have to get it for all of the strings. I don't think I currently have that as a list. Well, I can turn this into a list of strings, so I guess it's still useful to ask for it. Well, it's not even function text width. This is app.ports. Subscribe, I think. So for version 1, we don't have to send the font. Which lets us cheat the... Well, I'm still going to have to return 2 parameters. Well, Elm can still deal with simple structures. but it's going to have to be a parameter object, which is annoying. app.ports.textSize.send, and we have to send and then we have to do measure text.elm port module measure text. It's going to expose. I'm not sure what yet. But we have to have a port. Oops. Which is let's see, send ports, return a command message. And text size. Let's see how do send ports work. It is, it's a handler to message, basically doing a map for you. All right, now is there any kind of helpers I want to do with this? Not really, so I probably would want to type these, even though it would be pretty normal to specify the literals. Type alias, measure text spec. It's already measure text module. Type alias, text size? Text size, text size? It's... I could potentially return Metrics.height as long as we're at it. Although that module only had width, not height, so that's probably interpretable from the text or the font size. So, text spec, text size, get text width, and text size. Schedule graph. So, do we expose? We expose all days. We don't expose day name, which we need to have to get a list of all the day names to measure. And then this is eventually going to have a, day width parameter of some sort. Schedule from videos. And likewise, you're going to have measured results. Time zone, window width, window height. Label widths. Label widths will have to start out as a dict.empty, I think. And then we have to do you did not oh, we did import that. Well, I don't know if you're worth importing or exposing. Schedule graph dot all days. List dot map by schedule graph dot day name. List dot map name to the string. I don't know how much we can cheat this font spec here. Sans serif 10 pics and name. Oh, well, no, we can take care of that. And then import. And this was even ordered before. Import measure text. Measure text dot get text width. This is a list dot map again, which I guess you could actually do here. And then we do a command dot batch over that to make it usable again. And then we need window size, a text. Ooh. Well, you can sort of overlap that. Guess I could have done tuple for simplicity. which is a measure text dot text size. And now we're going to have to implement that. Text size. But this, at this point, I can kind of blow it out. Text width returns a model. Well, I guess. Let equals debug.log size in model command.none. And we need to start working on all the errors. I'm going to import a dict. Exposing dict for convenience. Oh, I did this a tuple. Okay, that compiles. Unexpected token. Yep, that's dangers of JavaScript. Oh. No, it's not equals. It is a function of params. All right, did port syntax change? What was the other app I had done? You had ports, right? No. Source. No, I didn't even touch local storage. However, this is in public. app.ports.subscribe. app.ports.send. Oh, wait, this... Send of undefined. Okay. Ports. What? Apparently it didn't like that port spec, because one of them is there. It recognized get... I must have got the port syntax off. Port. message, submessage, port name. What am I missing here? Yeah, the problem is I can't test for a possible name conflict without renaming everything. Oh, it's subscription. I haven't Elm now removes unused functions. Since we never called it, it doesn't exist. Measure text dot text size. Unexpected type of value. So you can send values in and they get stringified, okay. But you can't send a complex value out. Oh, wait. Width is probably going to convert as float, isn't it? Oh, okay. Indeed it does. Now I'm curious. 10 pix. What if we did 1 pix? Would that just move the decimal point? Oh. Had I compiled? Okay, so that's not working. So I guess for this to work, we have to do the entire thing. Italic. Normal. Small caps. Normal. Boulder. Normal. Then the... Well, that might actually just be it. It has to be that before the font. Typeface. Okay, that actually changed, and it Looks like it was. May have defaulted to 10. Yeah, that's just moving a decimal point. So if we measure it at 1 pix, that gives us a baseline to multiply by whatever our font size is. Now I'm just curious, can I get rid of all these normals? Yes, okay. So now schedule graph. Oh, I have to actually save this. Model where... Is it label? Label widths? Muddly. Where label widths is dict.update. And this is where we want to do text width. Text width in model.label widths. Oh, actually insert is what we want here. Did I also try to use an int up here? Yes, I did. And now schedule graph has to have a place in its spec. Width, height, label widths. So you probably need a dict now. Actually, I thought it's a system library. Did I put that in there? This is not ordered. Label widths. So that has to get down to context decorations. Alright, so that's the height and the width of the collage. We calculate a text.size. So day name, actually day of week. Text equals day name, day of week. From text and text size. Okay, this is our base size. It needs an int. So So we've got the minimum of that. Times. Oops, you do not need an arrow. This is kind of an annoying enough thing. Dict.get text in label widths. And that is going to have to be a maybe. Unless I don't think it would be a result. And given the label widths that we have... Now, this isn't text size. I actually have to do something different with my alignment. Huh. So this is where collage matters. Anchor. Center. And that's just top, top, right, right, right. What's a point? Is a point a type I can get access to? Locate a named part of a collage and calculate anchor. Subcollage using name. Okay, a point is a float. And left is supposed... Well, what is this? What does a line actually take? Is it a point? It's an anchor. But an anchor is a function. So this shouldn't be that different from like layout width, layout height. But this is specifically of this collage. Debug.log. No, I still need a function here. Collage debug.log left of the collage. Oh, that's not the return value, so we have to be let blah 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 equals left. In return the collage again. Having added that record to the type, our view has to pass it down. Okay, so every time it renders, it gives us the exact same width, which is kind of what we expect from that. Schedule graph. What about... Is center just 0, 0? Oh. Okay, center is something different. Top, right, bottom, left, base. Oops. Yeah, 0, 0. So to emulate this effect, we actually need to be a function of a collage to label width. Oh, and this is, yeah. Maybe dot map, or maybe with default. Oh, default. Is it left? Width. So what's his width? Need to be in layout, right? Width of the envelope. Yeah, so there's some that this might very well be it. But it's very distances collage. Unpack, distances, collage. But that is half the total width. Right? I mean, it's too blah, 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 blah. Oh, wait, this is just width of text. So we can say that the default is... What did I import from text? Text as... Oh. Oh. Those don't count for overrides, huh? Well, we should still specify text width, I think. And we've not finished starting this yet. Label width. I think this is divided by 2. Oh, but that is divided by 2. So do I have to map divided by 2? Oh. Where text is what? Okay, so from string, rendered probably as it turns it into a collage. Okay, so I can't really use their width. Height is the size. So we do sort of have to abstract this. All right, so we've got that. Oh, except this has been rounded, which you don't want there. Label width. So our default is the height, which is just the size divided by 2 times we ended up with a straight parenthesis here. And we lost an operator somewhere. Oh, this was math dot. It was a Miniramax. Round size, round min. Okay, yes, we have to map that divided by 2. I don't know how the argument order is going to work on that. I'm not comfortable using a partial application of an operator. I guess I could use times 0.5. That would be the same thing. Right. What? Also, I've started debugging here. Alright, quick check. Is this actually failing and going to default? That's wrong. Oh, this has to be times the, that's the base size. Well, x times size times 0.5. So, actually, interestingly enough, this is like a more accurate representation of, at 1 pixel, those like 1.7 or whatever, is like the width of these characters. In these combinations. So funnily enough, we can do with default and then it's not a maybe anymore. But we still need to priority that. No, there's the function application. All right, so the initial render is, I don't know if there's any way to avoid that. Because it's just wrong. Well, I could have it not render if it doesn't have the information. Wow. Well, that's the proof of concept. Oh, and since these are ports, I get to copy them everywhere. Seem to have lost my closing brace there. All right, so we have that duplicated. We have to keep that data around. Pass Leibowitz all the way down. This does make me wonder if there's a better thing than a line. Calculate the envelope. So I could actually just get the... There is sort of a way to get that value directly. No, that's stacking collages, not... So there's nothing here. Now this might be like a basic thing. Oh, you know what? This is exactly a shift. Oh, it's a shift. Okay. Yep. Minus label width. So that offsets it. That moves it over to this point. Wait. Is that the right shift direction? That is not the right shift direction. Interesting how the align is negative. So now the question is, should I just make that one statement? They are... They're kind of doing different things. And it's time to refresh my water.
Try not to die, though, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm happy that they
No,
changed it so that it's not...
I was up at the roof last time. I don't know what I did.
Whee!
14 strength. That's pretty sweet. But is that what they started with? Because that doesn't get boosted up, right? As far as I know. Okay. So we need to do some more debugging. So the issue is when it comes out here, it wants to go in either direction. So when it comes out, I think we need to make sure... But why would it ever try and go backwards? There's an exit over here. Like a...
It's because you're trying to call the read passwords on the list and not each individual object in there. So the list doesn't have the read passwords method, it's actually the objects inside the list. So if you say, for example, readers index 0.read passwords, I think that would work. So I think that's your issue there. So just do a for.
¿Todo bien? ¿Se ve desconectado?
A ver, sí, sí.
Vale, yo lo veo bien.
Vale.
Métete en un arco.
Okay, we're getting a lot of iron. That's good to see. We're finding a whole bunch in this outside area. Okay, we could get down here and use this. Anybody have any recommendations for the neural vacillator?
Oh, gotcha. Right. Fahrenheit. I live in a country that uses ye old Celsius. So I was like, what? But that totally makes sense. 100%. Okay, let's get liquefiable stuff. This is ice and snow. Copy your settings over. Like that.
Mode. And I guess I'll select, these are really simple, so I'm in edge mode now, so I want to switch back to faces, Alt, right click. I guess go ahead and click, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Control Z. Alright, right click, oh, just shift right click.
Okay. Welcome back. Alright, so we had tweaked this. This was fully tested, right? Yes. So I mean, I could conceivably batch this up into a function. Well, no, I could go back to where it's just this, and then you would map it onto the call in that. Okay, we had a new file. Port workaround for text left alignment. Now we have to deal with the fact that it looks terrible. It looks terrible on load. Which seems to suggest that we start doing animation just so we can have that pop in somehow. You don't have anything specific for animation. Other animation packages? Oh, if I start doing animation. No, subscriptions. Right now we only have a time for requests and for background time updates. So we would have to track when we're in entrance. We would have to provide the current time. Well, current time will already cause updates because we're drawing the current time bar. But we would have to provide a start time so that we knew when we were fully in. Yes, there's nothing for animation. I know there were once a bunch of Elm animation. Not using C, you only need to get smooth animations. Style animations, easy functions. Yeah, for that style animations. So all of these have been updated. You're just easing functions. Oh, this is easing functions, of which there are quite a few. Easing. You can find them in this library. Okay, that gives you a nice language for it. And probably the termination checking. When all we want is some sort of fade or slide, so it just doesn't look as terrible. So if we have to record the time when we start. We have to get animation frame to make it look good. Well, we can step up the animation frame later. We need the time when we start. No pointed or CSS animations. I don't really know. Could you apply CSS animations directly to these? ID unnamed. Well, that makes it sound like there's a provision to add IDs. Or classes or something. Oh, because we do the decorations for each one. Okay. Oh, and then that segment. Yeah. The text. Well, no, it doesn't quite work. I can't really test appearance animations on here, can I? I could make it SVG text. Hmm. Well, okay, something like this. Oh, that's this thing. Well, I mean, this would be a nice little... Well, background color, yeah. A nice little test. And this is going to be SVG text. Does not seem to be... Well, okay, it's on there. Okay. So that's all text, and could almost be all elements, but Actually, that might be it. Just so it's basically invisible during that initial time. And indeed, we could possibly start now. So far, I think I've been doing my style in the Elm doc. Maybe in the... Yeah. Wait, I mean, I guess that could vary with the application in terms of how you want that to appear. Animation, duration, timing function, delay. So name, duration, delay would be the other number. So we could do like, try and get that initial period. It might almost look better with more fade. Wait, I'm getting my jaggies now. Just weird. Oh. Excuse me. Interesting. So it worked before because it was in the document and it was there before this. So I might actually have to specify animation delay specifically because it's like you can't skip the parameters. Okay, that's better. Oh, I would have to specify... Well, that becomes... Actually, what I have to do is specify opacity 0, which is always scary. We do want a short delay. Which actually that's what happened. If for some reason animation doesn't work. Error? Oh, shoot. And then it returns to its original state. So that cannot be its native state. Was that? It's okay. Now I might want to apply that. Polyline. Probably also a polyline. What if we just did SVG? Ooh. That actually works kind of okay. And then when we add stuff to it, I didn't really notice that doing a fade in, but oh, because it's not on the individual elements. Then, and those are rects. Yeah, so it's like these are polylines. That's a polyline. That would be kind of the nuclear option. Ooh, yeah, that looks terrible. And those are rects. So we'd have to apply some sort of class to it. That might be straight up SVG. Attributes. Oh, but how do I apply attributes to a collage? So the SVG gets a class. Which goes down to the attributes. Collage.render SVG explicit to put that on the top level thing. Yeah. So what do we have for identifying elements? Notice something about IDs. Styling, fill style, line style. Of course, I guess anything like that would not be... Like if you ever wanted to redo this as a canvas renderer. HTML attributes would not be friendly to that. Naming. Locate a named. It sounds like it's supposed to be internal. Okay. So polylines, get those. There are specific so it is doing an envelope for that group of things. A specific Well, we could try. Well, they're supposed to be unique names. ID. Where was... It's under layout. Name, ID. Actually, this would kind of be in a render, wouldn't it? Oh, okay, so it is the name. Is turning up as the ID. But IDs are supposed to be unique. There's an attrs. SVG, SVG. Yeah. So I probably could translate these into polylines and then I could select them easily. Gonna be polyline, polyline, polyline. Polyline. Okay, so this is doing yeah, let's dot map rectangle. How about rule color? Ah, so that is segment traced mark is the width. So we would have to figure out how that translates. So that would be a segment. Okay, so this is that might be very different. All right, let's back up and checkpoint. Okay, we're back to SVG text. We have, okay, that was not put down as a note. Fix text jumping with CSS anim. This is our decorations. So from 0, I think a rectangle would be drawn at 0, so that would be kind of comparable. Traced. Mark is once again based on our size. We're already kind of calculating that. Something like that. So this would be width and height, which we'd have to translate back to segments. That would be traced solid. That's... No, this is from where to where. It's a line. Yes, that'd be plus minus duration. We have a slight opacity on it. And we've already got some shifts on there. Alright, so if we translated this to segment, this is going to be, so this is a very, very tiny rectangle right now, which turns into our mark, I think. But now we have to do those depend on each individual one. Well, this is a function, so we can do width equals duration divided by day. In segment negative width divided by 2 negative, I guess 0.5 times is kind of the same thing, isn't it? No, we go 0 and then 0. And then we do traced solid 0.1. Mark uniform style dot data color. Oh, solid must be the fill for that. And then all of this stuff the same, I think. Wait, we still need that for you. Nope, there we go. Oh, that actually filled in pretty nice. And now we can also say view that those will fade in. Uh-oh. did my bandwidth go? Okay, it's not an overloaded connection. Looks reasonably okay to my ISP's website. Looks reasonable to the main Twitch site.